Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Debby's Place podcast. And our guest for today is a superstar, the baddest script writer, director. He's everything. Welcome, Patrick Dominic.
Thank you very much, Debbie, for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, um, when did you realize you had a gift for storytelling, and how did that lead you to the stage?
I was broke.
Were you a broke?
Yeah, I think that was 2013. I just finished its service and I had an ex-girlfriend and some blessing. And then while we're talking, Sapa came up and she was like, "Oh, you can write stories now. Like, post these things online, let people see what you do." And that was it. From there, I write stories on Facebook. And I'll say that since then, everything has changed. And we thank God for it.
So Sapma brought out.
Yeah, I tell people that a lot. It's not passion, it was hunger.
So, what was the first feat you ever wrote? And looking back now, would you laugh or cry about it?
I would die. I tried to. It's been long. I wrote it for. I know the people I wrote it for. Blue Pictures something. It was an ad for an NGO. I think I bumped into that script some days ago, and I was like, I'll not write this, even by mistake. I was telling myself, do you actually write this thing? But at that time, he had huge traction on YouTube. For 2014, for you to have like 7,000, 8,000 views on YouTube was a big deal. Actually, I'm trying to remember the name of the film, but I can't picture it right now.
So you cry about it.
I will hate it. I don't even want to. It's still on YouTube, but I don't watch it.
Oh wow, what's the name? So I can't watch it.
I would definitely check before I leave this bit.
All right. Okay. So was there a particular play that became your big break? And what made it special?
Oh, okay. That would be our first play, Masquerade.
Mm.
What made it special was that for me, I've always told people that I don't mind how good you are. I like working with people whose character I can relate to. There are very talented actors with bad characters, and there are people who have good characters but are not really talented. I can work with those people. It makes it easier for me to work with somebody that has good character. Masquerade for us was that we worked with best dancers, musicians, actors, spoken word artists. For me, it's always been collaboration. And it's collaboration over competition. Basically, I'm only in competition with myself. My job is to make sure that my next job is better than the last thing I did. So the masquerade was we had collage of professionals to do the masquerade. So we changed the certain narrative, and that was it for us.
Okay, so I think I saw Boundless Love few weeks. It was like 2 weeks ago. It was amazing.
Thank you.
It was a platform. Okay, so what was the challenge on sex?
Okay, I said,
Yes.
uh, working with humans is not easy, especially when you've not gotten to the point where you're giving them good money, when they're doing it for the passion. There's an extent to how you can raise your voice. But I always tell somebody that you choose this lifestyle, so do it well. Nobody's forcing you to do it, So if you've chosen to do something, and do it well. And the challenges we had some members coming on set late. Call time was 1 p.m. We had members coming by 4 p.m. for a play that is by 5. So we had issues of funding. It's something I personally fund myself.
Bravo.
I've not had anybody say, "Oh, take this 100,000." No. And it's caused problems with me, my family members, friends. You don't gain anything from it. It's just the happiness I see on people's faces, and there's a certain level of fulfillment. But funds was really one of our major issues. Got
Funds. Okay. So, what is your process like? Do you have what you want in your head, or you just come up with a raw dialogue when writing a story?
I never have what I want in my head. I write scripts like 4 times, cancel it, write it again. I don't know how people do it. When they say, "Oh, give me a breakdown," I don't know how to do that. thing. I don't know how to give breakdown of stories. I write my stories as the spirit comes. I don't look at, I can look at that person picture now and so I want to write a story about this picture, basically. I don't have a story on my head already. The more I look at the picture, the more I look for something to write about. So for me, it's on the go. My dialogues are on the go. The structure, the arc of the story, they're on the go. I don't have it laid down already. Like there was a synopsis that I shared with a very big producer in town. His name is Apostle. You must have heard of it. Yeah. Yeah, the title is So. It's something we're still going to do in the future. Now, if I'm writing that story, I've sent the synopsis to him basically. But now I don't know how I want that story to end or begin, but I already know what I want from the story. But I don't know what is going to happen in the beginning, what's going to happen in the middle, but I know what I want to see from the story. So basically for me, it's like that. For people who can know the beginning to the end, I wish them well.
So, speaking about stories, Boundless Love, the story was very captivating and intriguing. What was the backstory behind that story? What gave you the inspiration behind Boundless Love?
Okay. Like for instance, what we do, the lighthouse, Instinct Tempera. Forgive me if I'm calling Apostle a lot. It's somebody that's I have a strong energy towards him because of what he does. I would rather gather people to bring out their creative sides than for them to look for a fast way to make money. Basically, I've seen that youth are more into quick cash. A friend of mine who's a mechanic was complaining that he does not have apprentices again because nobody wants to learn. Give us 10, 15 years, you will not see mechanics from our generation because everybody wants the fast cash, the fast route. So I've noticed that a lot of family, while growing up, we have this regimented style of praying. Like my mother will be praying and be boiling yam at the same time, and she's not focused on the prayer, but at this that helped us while growing. The backstory was that we have families who want their children to do well but do not help them to do well. We have young men who would do anything just to make money these days, and society has accepted it as the norm. You see somebody coming online and says a Yahoo boy, and then people are applauding him. Mothers want their children to get married to this kind of person. See Yahoo boy, see Yahoo. So we looked at it and we said, okay, let's just do something that will make people see these things differently. And I've had people in my circle who've had the thoughts of doing stuff like that. And I've had people who said, oh, until they joined us, they wanted to live a certain kind of way. They wanted to sleep with men for money. There's nothing I hate like seeing creative people sleep with people for money. Basically, when everything that you have is within your grasp. So that was actually what inspired us to keep on that stuff.
Thanks. So, as a director, what's the biggest challenge in turning a script into a living play?
I'd say most times are the actors. Basically, you might have very beautiful scripts, but you need an actor that would bring that script to life. Basically, then you might have worked with a particular actor to an extent, and then you say, oh, the actor says I have stomachache, and then you have to bring in another actor to do this stuff. Like when we did November 1990, we had a sequel, which was November 1992. Our lead actress for 1990 said she doesn't feel like doing stage for now. And this is a story that is continuous. So we needed somebody else to play the distance. So I do were like, no, it will not work. Let's just kill that character. I said, kill that character for what? Because one person stepped out. So we had to start rebuilding that character with another person from the to the end. So most times, actors really play a vital role in those things. You might have an idea in your head, but the actor who does not see it the way you see it might not be able to portray it. So that's one of our biggest challenges as directors. And then locations. Okay, let me speak as a stage director. Let me speak for stage. Then basically, when you have when the stage does not suit the kind of message you want to send. Like for instance, we've used Cultural Center for 6 of our plays. And then since it's on ongoing renovation, we had to go to Unical. And then we had to start building backstage. We had to start teaching our people how to walk backstage again. These are things that we have taught them like 2 years ago, but we had to start from the scratch. So locations and all those things matters, but we're trying our best.
So, have you ever had a moment on stage where everything went wrong, but the audience didn't notice?
Plenty.
It was like
Plenty.
interesting.
There was one that the audience noticed. That was Masquerade. Our generator went off. Our gen went off. But then the play was so good that nobody left the hall. Like everybody stayed. They said they wanted to see how it ended. Then we've had okay, for Boundless Love. Do you know that my cast did not know the ending of Boundless Love? That's something I do. I don't tell my cast the ending of my clip. Why? Because they tend to look forward to it. I also want the end to like minister to my cast. So most times the ending is always comes to them as a surprise, and they'll be like, so this is what PD had in mind. So we've had issues on stage where we've had an issue on stage where two characters go on stage and totally mess up their lines. We at the backstage were just laughing because we knew that they had forgotten their lines. We had issue where both of them were numb on stage, not knowing what to say. And one of them said something like, "Don't worry, I'll see you later, I'm coming." So he goes backstage, he reads his lines, come back on stage and continues. The audience laughs and claps because they think that, it's what we all know that they messed up big time. So we've had those moments continuously. If you don't have it, stage is harder than film. Stage is one take. There is no take two or close-up shots. If you mess up, you messed up. So we've had those really.
Okay, so speaking about actors, how do you handle actors who don't quite understand the vision? Have you ever had to rewrite a scene at the Scots?
Yes. I've always said something. Actors should immerse themselves in the story. Actors should get to the point where they love the story so that they forget who they are. Like you see people like Hank Sanoko. I don't know if you know him. Oh. When you see Hank, you just see a drug lord, you see an armed robber because he has so played roles like that here. We now see him as one, like something patience or so forth. So for those kind of actors, I said all we do is consistent training. Basically, do consistent training for them. Make them love that character so they become that person. So when they come for rehearsals, we don't call them Debby again. We call them the name of the character. The name of the character is Patience. We keep calling them Patience. So the name stops in their head. The character stops in their head. You make jokes around the character so they become the character. It's not always easy, but consistent is always better.
Okay, so what has been your proudest moments as a writer and director?
I think as a writer was when I wrote for the Johnsons. Well, I said in 2018 that I was going to write for them. Like I spoke it into existence. And in 2023, I got the call to write for the Johnsons. Then for director, I would say when I directed my first stage play. And for directing, I think my big break is yet to come with Safe too.
Safe. We'll talk about safe later. So, what has been your toughest challenge? Like, has there been a point where you almost wanted to give up?
Yes, like I said earlier, anything you're sponsoring yourself gets to a point where you get really tired. I'm a family man. I have a wife. I have a daughter. I have people I take care of. Parents. You do this, you do that. And if you're funding everything yourself, and then the people who you're doing this for, like your actors and actresses, are giving a lackadaisical attitude. Some days they don't come for rehearsal. Some days you stay 1 month if you don't see them. Those periods. There's a time I left my people for like 1 week. I switched up my phone, left my group, deleted the whole thing. I was that frustrated. But then I will always think of why I started in the first place. So that's always been the drive. I always felt like if people like me do not change the narrative about stage, we're going to have mediocres who are going to come up there and do nonsense, and people are going to applaud them for it. Because on a personal note, I don't know why Portable is celebrated. It's because we have chosen to accept mediocrity as the new norm. So if somebody comes, sing a very beautiful song, as long as the lyrics are not dirty, the song does not go to anywhere. If you listen to Johnny Drill's song, they might have lesser streams than Portable song. Why are people listening to those songs? Those are the people that we need to synthesize. But they don't think they have a problem. So that's why Asaba will keep trying. You know why? Because they are consistent in doing the wrong thing. And whatever you're consistent in, whether it's good or bad, at some point you will start making money from it. So if that's being the driving force, let's not relax and let people do rubbish.
So how has all these challenges shaped the stories you tell now?
Okay. I always like to tell stories about reality. I don't like telling. I don't like lying too much in my stories. I like stories that are relatable, that people can see themselves through those stories. Stories that people can watch and be like, "That was me. That's this thing helped me." It's not like I don't tell comedy. I do, but they are also relatable stories. So what has happened around me has helped shape my focus, my direction. The kind of stage play I write, you must go home with a lesson. The kind of films I want to do, at the end of the day, it's either you are informed or you are entertained well. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Not just the kind of entertainment that you go, oh, those two girls, they kiss themselves. No. Maybe you're entertained in the sense that the writing was on point, the dialogues were hilarious and all those kind of things. So it has helped shape the way I think.
Okay, so most people call Calabar Nazareth. Calabar has not always been seen as a creative hub on the national scale. But with you, you've made it seem different. So what is your take on the city's artistic?
I think that if you can make it in Calabar, you can make it anywhere. You can make it anywhere. And we're limited by the things we say and the things that we do. The people who there are people who made Lagos, and there are people who will make Calabar. It might not happen overnight. We should understand that Calabar was never built as an entertainment hub. So they will struggle to accept some kind of things. But when Donald came, he changed certain narratives. Calabar is the first person that made me see Akon live for free, P Square live for free, Jaro live for free. So I don't think any other state has ever done it. So there are Cross-Riverians who are out there doing big things. I know Cross-Riverians in Calabar here who are writing for people abroad. I have written a script for somebody out of the country. I've written episodic stories for somebody that is in New York. So it depends on what you want to do. There are people in Calabar that are making good money through entertainment. I know people whose YouTube channel have blown via what they are doing. I think the more you see a place as not being benefiting, the less to work for you. You are actually what you see and what you see. If you limit yourself to your environment, then there's a problem. I always tell people that I work from Calabar. I don't work in Calabar. My works are outside, but I stay here in Calabar. There's this level of sanity that we have in this place. Will I move at some point? If God says so, although I have it in my head to move at some point, but we're doing very well in Calabar. There are people who are doing very big things in Calabar. It might not be like our Lagos counterparts or Port Harcourt or anything, but it is we who have to take it upon ourselves to do something different. So like I said, I'm anticipating working with Instant via the new film we're doing. If you put those kind of productions out on a consistent basis, narratives of Calabar will change. I think that one of the reasons that we've accepted mediocrity in crossover. Oh, let's just do it anyhow. Anyhow will not push you. If you want to do something well, put a level of excellence into it. And it doesn't matter wherever it is that you are. Yes, you are not there, but we'll get there.
Okay. So speaking about Instinct Thinker, you mentioning Instinct Thinker. Who and what is Instinct Thinker?
Okay. It is one of my very good friends. His name is Apostle. In fact, that's the only name I know. That's the only name I want to know.
Oh wow.
I work with them on the set of An Answer. It's a short film, basically. And then for me, I'm somebody who thrives where the producer gives me the leverage to be myself. Working with the Instinct Empire was an eye opener. That boss, do what you want to do as long it comes out well. And most times when you watch some of our movies that come out in these our states, it's always how will I okay, the word is not coming. It's always tapped. I don't know if you understand what I mean. They just do it anyhow. Let's just do it anyhow. You see, I'm colorblind. I don't recognize colors, but I can when I watch our films from here, I get headache because I know that although I cannot see that color, but that's nonsense that I'm saying. But with Eastern Empire, there is longing to do things differently. There's this let's get the color right, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, it's the first time somebody is doing a film and doing a premiere, doing a screening. Although yes, there was one I watched some years ago, but that was by Teco Benson and Eric Anderson. But for somebody in Calabar to do it that way and do it well, then there is a level of professionalism that comes with Instant Empire. And me, I cannot work with mediocrity. That's one of the reasons people don't like me in this sound. Because if it's not working well, if it's not up to a certain standard, I will not do it.
If you could have one celebrity, local or international, start in your next play, who would it be?
Local or international? I can only choose one. I'll choose RMD.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sugar Daddy. Okay, quick choice. I want to ask you this question. Don't think, just answer. Write under pressure or direct in capes?
Right under pressure.
All right. It was really nice having you. So what should we look out for Patrick Dominic? What next?
Look out for Safe. Look out for Sometime in October for Stage and Safe for Film.
All right. So it was really nice having you on the show. So I'm
Yes.
able to have you another time.
I will come back.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. We've come to the end of this beautiful episode with my superstar, and I remain your humble host, Debby. Bye.
Bye.